discounts up to $11,500 are available. It's our annual Halloween sales event. Get $11,500 off or 0% financing at Koppel. So please stop on by or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. 0% with roof credit.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Hard work. It's what drives Nebraska. It defines our strength. Men like you live it every day. But sometimes living up to those expectations can be overwhelming. If you're struggling, call or text 988. You'll get skilled, caring support 24/7. Live up to a different kind of strength. The strength to ask for help. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome everybody in. Is my mic on? It is on. All right, it's sound on. Welcome everybody into the Adam Carriker Show, the show that gives you unique insights, unbridled honesty. Producer Jake and Vershawn Jackson for the first segment of today's show. We're going to have a whole lot of fun together. A lot to talk about. Ton of college football games to react to. And I'm starting to see places where Ohio State fans want to fire Ryan Day. I will give my thoughts on that. I'll ask VJack real quick, but I'll give my thoughts on that later in the show. Is that crazy? Or is this what happens when you spend $20+ million and you lose in October?
Yeah.
A game you really should have won. We're going to react to Matt Rhule's press conference around 12:30. All right, that wrapped up early today. But the first thing I want to chat about, all right, 3-time national champ, one of the best to ever do it. I know I give him a hard time about going from fullback to tight end, but the man was a team captain for a reason, 3-time national champ, one of the best to ever do it. Mr. Vershawn Jackson, if you missed the captain, 10 to noon every day here on The Ticket. Him and T. Farley and Jake having a whole lot of fun, dropping a whole lot of knowledge. My question for you And it's kind of apropos because we're playing a ranked team this weekend. I don't want you to give away your prediction for Indiana if you're not ready. But do you think Nebraska is going to beat a ranked team this year, starting with Indiana?
I think it has to start with Indiana. I think if you don't beat this ranked team, it sets you up for failure moving forward, because it's not like it's going to get easier. Okay, you go from an Indiana team to an Ohio State juggernaut, right? That's probably going to be a little upset about what happened to them against Oregon. So it's like, or whoever they played and lost. My point is, you got to find a way to put all three facets of the game together. Special teams being the first thing. Offense, defense. You got to score points. I think it's going to take 28 to 35 points to win, and I think you got to hold them to 14.
Again, if you're not ready to give your official prediction, you don't have to yet, but do you think we're going to beat a ranked team this year, starting with Indiana? Definitive answer.
I don't know. I can't give you one because you don't know who's going to show up.
That's a lot of truth.
That's the truth. We've been here all season long, and we've been waiting for us to play a complete game. All three, special teams, offense, defense, together. When have we played one complete game?
So you're not wrong. And I don't know if you listen to my show at all. I try to check out yours as much as possible. Well, everybody tries to. Anyways, I digress. 24 quarters of football we played this year. By my personal evaluations, in my opinion, the defense has played 22 good quarters. Second half of Illinois in overtime. Okay. The offense has played 13. Just over 50%. Okay. And I haven't even thought about the special teams. I try to analyze the special teams and get it the hell out of my mind when I'm done analyzing it. To me, Indiana is the team that's just as unproven as we are. They look more explosive. They look more dynamic simply because they're more consistent.
Yes.
They show up for at least 3/4 of a game, if not the whole game. Whereas to me, it actually, in my opinion, comes down to the offense, because the defense is going to do enough. They have shown me enough the past couple weeks. They're back to playing good football. I think they were embarrassed the second half against Illinois, and they responded the way they should have. I think they're going to play well enough. I hope the special teams can be, and I've been saying this not as a joke, not as a jab. I would love for us to be average, but we're so far away from average. I would take slightly below average right now. We can be average by the end of the year, because right now it's a flat out liability. All right, Rutgers had no business being in that game, except they started on our 2 and they started on our 28 in large part due to special teams. Not in large part, due to special teams, a block punt and the bad punt, as great as Brian Buschini was that day. If we can just be slightly below average on special teams, the defense can keep playing the way they are. It's going to come down to the offense. Do you start fast and then drizzle off the second half? Do you start slow like at Purdue and then wake up midway through the third quarter? To me, it's the offense. What do you think?
I think this week, offense is going to have to play extremely well. They're going to have to play 4 quarters of kick-ass football.
Yes.
But I think that Indiana's strength is their offense. And I think it's going to really show what kind of defense we really have this week.
I agree.
And if we figure out a way to stop Indiana's high-powered offense on paper, then I think you can start talking about them in that greatness category. I don't know if I'm talking about them. I know we're looking good as far as in the statistical category, but when we really put good on good, how good are we?
I think they're the best offense we played this year, including Colorado, because they can't run the ball consistently. So they have to throw, and their O-line sucks at pass blocking. And I think we're the best defense Indiana's offense has played all year. I don't think our defense is just going to shut them down. What I think is our defense is going to play well enough that we should be in the game and we should win the game, because they shouldn't be more physical than us, even though we haven't been as physical as I would like. And then it's going to come down to, does the offense make halftime adjustments? Do they start fast? Are they awake? Last time we played at 11 a.m., we weren't awake. It was our first time with a morning game, and it was the first time on the road. So now at least we've done that before. We should be fresh off a bye instead of a rough loss at Illinois. And then here comes Purdue, and we putter till 5 minutes left in the third quarter, and then we blow them out the water like we should have. I guess my thought is this. If we show up and we can get 3 good quarters out of the offense, which we've done one time this entire year, the rest of the time is 2 good quarters. If we could get 4, I'm going to predict us to win. If we get 2, I'm taking Indiana. If we get 3, at least 3, can we expect more than 3 realistically with what we've seen? If we get 3, that's when the game gets really interesting.
How much is that, though, as play call? Yeah, I know we look at the offense, though, and say, okay, the offense is stagnant.
I get it.
I can't. But how much is that as play call? If on 3rd and 11, and we're on the opponent's 21-yard line, and it's 3rd and 11, we call a run. Are you really trying to? What are we doing? You understand what I'm saying? If it's 3rd and 3, And you're on the 20-yard line. You need 3 yards for a first down, and you throw the ball deep. What are we really trying to do? If it's one more, I got one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're on the left hash,
mm-hmm.
and you know you got a struggling kicker, field goal kicker, that is,
mm-hmm.
do you try to throw a ball and get it incomplete and where the ball is put back on the left hash? Or do you say, I'm going to play smart football and I'm going to we're going to run the ball to the middle of the field and put it exactly in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to play, give me my 3 points. Give me my 3 points. Give me my 3 points. So when our defense is playing lights out football and they give us the ball 4 to 5 times on the 50-yard line or in, and we come away with 0, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get
I'm not
12.
going to argue with you. You're right.
Let's get 12. Let's get 12.
Dude,
Give them an easy way out. And so I'm looking at play call, and I hope that we don't get out coached. I think we've been out coached the last half of a lot of these games, and I think we gotta change that. We gotta do the out coaching.
I'm not going to argue with anything you just said.
Thank you.
So I've not offered definitive thoughts on Marcus Satterfield so far this year.
Sure.
Partially because he's got a true freshman quarterback, and I wanted to see what Dylan could do. Now we've got an idea of what he can do. Mm-hmm. Now, what's he going to do versus tougher competition? We'll see. But you make a phenomenal point. Every single game this year, the exception of UTEP, that's the one game I give us 3 good quarters. That was the long time ago. First game of the year. We have been outplayed in the second half, even if we haven't been outscored. And I look at the Northern Iowa game as one of those games. We outscored them. They outplayed us.
Yes.
A lot of that is halftime adjustments. Even Purdue, where we scored 28 with the last 20 minutes to go, there was a pick 6 in there. I think we just woke up. Yeah. I think we just woke up is what happened there. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the coaches, but I think we just woke up because we were moving the ball the entire game. Just couldn't do anything. First 6 drives went into Purdue's territory and we got 0 points. Okay, so it wasn't like we all of a sudden made adjustments. We just woke up and executed better. To me, you look at the Illinois game, and I love Tony White. When people were like, he should be fired, I was like, you're an idiot. Like, you're an idiot after the Illinois game. Like, you are an idiot. That was ridiculous and asinine. It doesn't mean he didn't get out coached by Brett Bielema the second half of that game, and that contributed to us losing. Outside of that, he's been phenomenal this year, and he's a human being, and that's okay. They're getting paid over there, too. The second half of every game except for UTEP, offensively, I feel like we have been out-coached by the defensive coaches. Do you agree with that?
I would definitely agree with that. I think, you don't – I watched you go back to Colorado, right? And, everybody, we dominated Colorado, did we? We got
outscored 10-0 in the second half.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that, to me in itself, because a football game is a game of 2 halves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a game of 1 half. It's a game of 2 halves. And so – the 2 halves make the whole, and holistically, we haven't played a complete game yet.
That is true. I won't argue with that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you do look at this Indiana, this game in itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the road, you haven't proven that you can beat a ranked opponent. What are your thoughts? How do we go into Indiana, a hostile environment, and do something that we haven't done in a long time?
So, a couple of things. I have to say what I believe is going to happen and then address the question marks, because that's going to be the difference maker. Like I said earlier, I believe the defense is going to play well, that we'll have a chance to win. Okay? The question marks are the special teams. Can you just not be a liability and give them the ball at our 2 and our 28 and our half of the field? Okay? That's the biggest question mark. Number 2 for me, can we be more physical than a team that is dynamic, explosive, but hasn't been insanely physical yet? I'm not saying they lack physicality, but they're not a team that you're watching like, oh my God, they're insanely physical. Can we actually be the more physical team? Because we can't say that a lot of this year, especially with the run game or lack thereof. We're averaging 3.9 yards per carry. Last year was almost 5, okay? And the passing that we're doing effectively should open up the running lanes when we do run, and it hasn't yet. That Purdue game still sticks in my craw that we couldn't run the ball against them. I just talk about it like every other day randomly on here for no apparent reason because it sticks in my craw. The other biggest thing is the offense 4 quarters. To me, if the special teams isn't a liability, if we can just be equal to or a smidge more physical than Indiana, to me, the ultimate tiebreaker is, and I'm assuming that we're going to continue to take care of the ball, knock on wood. I'm assuming Dylan Raiola is going to continue to play like he has almost the entire year. I'm taking these things for granted, which you never do. Again, knock on wood. The difference is because they play 4 quarters. They make in-game adjustments. Kurt Signetti, who brought a bunch of guys, 11 players from Austin Peay, he has come in there and he has turned them into what appears to be, against a soft schedule, 109 strength of schedule in the country so far, a really good football team. Can we play 4 full quarters? Can we make halftime adjustments? Can we, if we get a lead and it looks like we should coast, which we tend to coast instead of putting the nail in the coffin, can we either put the nail in the coffin, or if we fall behind, can we make the adjustments to get back in the game and then overtake them in the second half? To me, those are the 3 big things: special teams, physicality, in-game adjustments with the coaches on offense specifically.
I think you're right on that one. You got to make the in-game adjustments. But I think the one thing that we haven't done, at least I haven't seen it, I saw it at the end of the game last week, intensity. I don't know if we've matched the intensity that we need in this game. You know as well as I do, sometimes your intensity, just the intense, your face and what you're doing scares people.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't know if we've had that intensity, if we played any game with that level of intensity, and you're going to need that. You're going to need, I'm going to kick your ass. I don't care what happens. It doesn't matter. They're going to need a focus, laser focus to win this game on the road.
The nail in the coffin mentality. If we get a lead, we have yet to put the nail in the coffin of any game. 14-0 at halftime versus Rutgers, 14-7. 28-0 halftime, Colorado, 28-10. Just to give a couple of quick examples. Like, if we get a lead, you got to put the nail in the coffin. You can't let them back in. If we fall behind, we have a history here of not winning close games. We just won a 1-score game, of not beating ranked teams, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of these things have not happened basically since 2016, okay? And so it's kind of, you got to break through the mold. You got to break through the ceiling. And I'm going to give the stupidest example ever, but I'm going to give it because it was the perfect example of I'm going to beat you mentality versus I'm not used to beating you. My brother-in-law, Phil, and I have a phenomenal relationship, and we have, I won't call them ping pong wars because I always win, but we play a ton of ping pong. I love Phil. He's one of my favorite guys I've ever met.
Let's go, me and you in ping pong. Right?
Anytime. All right. Like, we played 30. I kept track. There was a 35-game span after I got drafted to St. Louis. I beat him 34 out of 35 times.
Oh, my God.
But here's my point. There was a game where he was up on me 18-3. You go to 21. I grabbed the ball, had the ping pong paddle in my hand, grabbed the ball, and I looked at him. And I got his attention because he was over there doing his stupid little dance. He was celebrating. I love you, Phil. And I go, you know I'm going to win, right? And I was dead serious. He looks at me and he goes, I know. And I won. I came back and won. Like, that's what Nebraska is missing.
Yes.
Is we know what's going to happen.
Yes.
And you're going to have to take it out of our cold, dead hands.
Yes.
It's a stupid analogy, but it's so true. Like, there was zero doubt in my mind and also in his what was going to happen. And we've got to have that same zero doubt of what's going to happen, but you got to do it.
You got to do it.
Got to do it. And you got to have the mentality and the attitude that you're going to do it.
I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
Boom, 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 Sheeny.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
And Sierra Wright, black shirts.
Oh, we talked about this. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
I have no problem with that. Zaire Wright should have had one.
Yep.
I'm fine with the bye week. Wait until bye week. I'm cool with that. As far as Brian Buschini, so we actually debated this on the show last Friday. I said I was okay with it. He said, and I respected Jake's opinion, he said, I like keeping it to defensive guys. And then somebody sent in on the text line, feel free to correct us anytime, ladies and gentlemen. Facts don't care about feelings, including our own, that Alex Henry got one back in the day. Was it Alex Henry? Which, he's a field goal kicker. Now that I think about it, did he punt too at Nebraska?
He might have punted too. I think he did.
Like, you got to at least be a punter.
Yeah. He's got to be a punter. He can't get one as a field goal.
The field goal kicker's on offense.
You got to think your punter is the first defensive play.
Yes.
Right? Punting.
Yes.
When you punt the ball, that is the first defensive play of defense. We had this discussion too, and people was like, no, it's the first. No, it's not. Yes. Because when you punt the ball, what are you going to do?
Play defense.
Defense.
They're part of the defense.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
So the fact that he has flipped the field for us.
Yes.
Multiple games. You cannot, and then I said this last, he got hit worse than any player we've seen all year.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what he did? Got up,
made a difference,
stayed in the game.
Inspirational performance.
You got to give him a black shirt. That's what a black shirt's all about. You don't make excuses. How many times did you play hurt? How many things did you get hurt Because now is the season of if I hurt my pinky finger, I'm gonna sit out.
He said pinky finger.
I dislocated my pinky. Only reason why I said it because I dislocated my pinky finger.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
I did that. And it was this way during the game against Missouri. I'm looking like, okay, that's not right. And I pop it back in.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, oh, God. So I go and I show them. They tape it up. And I played the rest of the game with a dislocated pinky finger.
So a couple of things real quick. First of all, the worst fingers I've ever seen in my life belong to Torrey Holt.
Johnny Rogers is pretty bad.
Are they pretty? I haven't seen his fingers. Oh,
God. These two are going like this. These two are going like this.
I'm going to do the most awkward thing ever, and I'm going to ask Johnny to see his hands and fingers the next time I see him. Torrey Holt, I was a rookie. He couldn't get his gloves on. He's like, Adam, can you come here and help me get my receiver's gloves on? And they were like left, right, up. I'm like, how do you still play? I was insane. And now he's in the NFL Hall of Fame, Super Bowl champ multiple times. But you asked me about playing hurt. Here's another stupid story, but it's okay. I'm going to share it. And my wife listens to this show. She can text in and call me out or validate if she wants. When I was in St. Louis, my shoulder, I had to have major shoulder surgery operation. It was like the labrum, the subscap was all torn. I had to do it after the season. I couldn't even cut my own meat. Like during the week, I couldn't cut my own meat. So my wife, as pansy as this sounds, had to cut my meat for me. Come game day, I'd get a shot. I'd get another shot, and then I would take a bunch of Vicodin, which I ultimately got hooked on. I've never talked about that publicly.
Yeah.
Coming off of that, and the withdrawals was not fun. I didn't realize I was hooked on it, but I digress. And I went out and I played on Sundays. And then the next week, it was the same thing, the last half of the season. If she is listening, she's actually, all the kids are home today. She may not be able to listen. She can call me out or validate that. But my wife, ladies and gentlemen, I'm admitting this on public in front of a lot of guys, used to cut my meat for me. Immunity on those with a dirty mind, but used to cut my meat on the plate for me because I couldn't do it myself because my shoulder was so jacked up.
But you still play.
Long story short, I ended up still playing. Hey, I want to do this real quick. Okay. So Indiana, Ohio State, USC. You want to talk about second half adjustments? USC was up 20-6 at halftime and ended up losing because of Penn State's second half adjustments. By the way, that tight end had 17 receptions for Penn State. That's insane. No other receiver on Penn State had more than 3.
Wow.
That's insane. And they still won the game.
That's using your tight end, though.
Yes. Wisconsin and Iowa could potentially be ranked. All right. Wisconsin, all of a sudden, without their starting quarterback and running back, actually looks pretty good. All right, they just thumped, Purdue 52-6 and then Rutgers 42-7, which had every Husker fan online freaking out. All right, but Wisconsin so far, and that Alabama score is a little jaded simply because their quarterback got knocked out in the first quarter, but their current quarterback was a highly recruited guy, won multiple high school state championships, and was a stud coming out of high school, just young. But they lost to USC. But I think they're sitting here, at 4-2 right now, but they all of a sudden look pretty good, like they could end up ranked. Iowa all of a sudden scores 40 points. I thought it was a basketball score. I'm like, how does Iowa score 40 points? I didn't even know that was legal. All right, on Washington and kill them 40-16. They could end up ranked. Do you think we either beat Indiana, Ohio State, because they're going to be ranked? We are going to play them. I don't think USC will be ranked again, but Wisconsin or Iowa. Do we beat any of those teams? Are any of those teams ranked besides Indiana and Ohio State, Wisconsin and Iowa? And do we beat any of them or multiple ones?
It starts with Indiana. I can't go past Indiana. Because
Okay.
that's the weakest guy.
I get it.
Indiana is the weakest link. They're ranked 25 in the AP poll, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Well, they're higher than that, aren't they? Aren't they like
They're
18th?
like 16th, 18th.
Yeah,
Nebraska's 25th.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
but here's my point. Now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Indiana.
I agree.
You don't wait. You do it now so you can feel what it feels like to beat a ranked opponent and to win a big game on the road. We've never really experienced that since the Iowa game back when Mickey was the coach. We have not experienced a major win
That's true.
in the Big Ten at all.
That's
so
true.
This is as big as it's going to get. I think if we beat Indiana, it sets the stage for us to beat Ohio State.
All right. That's an opening
you
segue.
You lose against Indiana. Ohio State looks really, really scary. You lose.
Well, they look
against
really
Indiana.
scary anyways, but
I
get what you're saying.
Scary if
I get what you're
Indiana.
saying. So Indiana's going to be ranked. Ohio State's going to be ranked. Probably not USC. Definitely not UCLA. Wisconsin and Iowa, they could both be ranked. One of them could be ranked. Here's my wild prediction of the day. I don't know which teams yet. I haven't looked at Indiana in depth enough yet, as I mentioned to you before the segment. I think we beat 2 ranked teams this year. whether it's Indiana and Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin and Iowa, because they might both be ranked. I think they will be, honestly. Are you giving us
Wisconsin?
I'm saying we're going to win. Of the 4 ranked teams I think we're going to play this year, because I think Wisconsin and Iowa will eventually be ranked. I think we're going to win 2 of those games. That's what I'm saying. I don't know which ones yet. I got to look more in depth at Indiana.
It's looking really, really scary. Why? I don't. You know why?
I know.
You know why?
I don't like it.
Because they're a team. Because there's no guys. There's no, hey, look at him. He's the best run. No, quarterback. It is a whole bunch. Yes, a whole bunch of guys that we don't know playing great football together.
And what is going on with Iowa? How are they? You know, they've scored over 30 points. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 times out of their 6 games so far. They couldn't even average 25 a year ago.
They've got a great running back. That's the key. You got to.
I'm not arguing. I'm just stunned.
You got one of the best running backs in the league.
I don't like it because now it's like, oh, they're good at defense, special teams, and they score. Oh boy, we'll see.
Well, I think we'll see. I think matchups and games make everything. I think the 11 o'clock kickoff against Indiana will be big on our end. Do we get up? We haven't proven we can get up. We got to get up early, eat our Wheaties, and get ready to go. I would love to see us come out like. I don't know. Have you saw us ever come out of the locker room with our hair on fire? The first kickoff, hair on fire. Because most of the time, the kickoff goes out of bounds, right? And it's a touchback. But who cares? Go set the tone and smack somebody anyway.
So there was a 3-game stretch, Colorado, Northern Iowa, Northern Iowa, Illinois, where we scored a touchdown on our opening drives in 3 straight games. There was that. But again, that's where I come in with the halftime adjustments, though. The Purdue game was still tough, and Rutgers, actually, we didn't set the world on fire, but the offense looked like it was doing pretty good, and then just not so much. All right, man, I appreciate you taking the time to join me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the captain, Terrell Farley, Vershawn Jackson, my man Jake, producer Jake, 10 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday here on 93.7 The Ticket. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Have you been told by your physician that your testosterone level is fine, but you don't feel fine? Get a second opinion. If your testosterone level is 200, 350, even 500, and you still have symptoms, come to Limitless Male. We treat the person and the symptoms, not the number. Our mission is for you to feel optimal again. So if you're tired all the time, no energy, brain fog, muscle loss, nothing left in the tank, get your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and proud to be involved in our community. Property tax relief is important to every family. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history, and I will continue to advocate for property tax relief. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Tottenham plays West Ham at 6:30 a.m., and then Newcastle plays Brighton at 9 a.m. To cap off the Saturday action, Arsenal plays Bournemouth at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Man City takes on Wolves, while Liverpool plays Chelsea to try to stay atop the EPL standings. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8 p.m.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings & Rings, your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic, and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Sartor Hamann Jewelers is celebrating 119 years as Lincoln's top choice for fine jewelry. Join us for our anniversary sale going on now through October 20th. Enjoy an exclusive 20% off on in-stock items, including dazzling diamond jewelry, exquisite rings, and luxury watches. This once-a-year event is our way of saying thank you to the community that has supported us for over a century. Mark your calendars and celebrate this milestone with us by indulging in spectacular savings only at Sartor Hamann Jewelers.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
The electrical workers of local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hard work. It's what drives Nebraska. It defines our strength. Men like you live it every day. But sometimes living up to those expectations can be overwhelming. If you're struggling, call or text 988. You'll get skilled, caring support 24/7. Live up to a different kind of strength, the strength to ask for help. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. Powered by 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Also, Carriker Chronicles, CarrikerChronicles.com. Also, Carriker Chronicles on YouTube. Couple of final thoughts to the first segment. Shout out and big time thank you to Rashawn Jackson for joining me. All right, Alex Henry did indeed punt as well as kick field goals. All right, and if you want to send us a message, question, comments, thoughts, concerns, or otherwise, you can always send it into the Sartor Hamann text line. What's that number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right. My wife ignored my shout out. I think she's busy with the 6 kids at home due to fall break, but that's all right. So Alex Henry was a punter, so that makes him getting a black shirt okay. And honestly, I forgot to mention this. We brought up Brian Buschini. I'm totally cool with him getting it, not just because he's the only bright spot on special teams, not just because punters are more a part of the defense. I remember when Kyle Larson was a part of our defensive poster. I think I was a sophomore. He was included on the defensive poster. I'm not a fan of just giving it to every punter. No. You got to do something unique. his inspirational performance against Rutgers, on top of the performance itself, that's why I'm perfectly fine with him getting a black shirt. Congratulations to him and Zaire Wright as well. To me, if you're a punter, you're going to get a black shirt. There's got to be something unique about it. And Brian Busini has earned that black shirt. Again, shout out to Zaire Wright as well, who's earned that black shirt too. All right, Nebraska. 2 weeks in a row, they announced the kickoff time for Ohio State. Going to be playing the Buckeyes at 11 a.m. Central Time. A big noon kickoff. 2 weeks in a row, right, Jake?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to close the show today, here next segment, by reacting to all of the phenomenal college football games this past weekend. What was there? 2 different overtime games, 3 different top 15 matchups, Ohio State, Oregon, and Dan Lanning did something that was brilliant. He purposely put 12 men on the field at the end of the game, and I'm going to tell you why. Because my wife was like, they just came out of a timeout. How do they have 12 guys on the field? I went back and watched it. I wasn't the only one. The other people who pointed this out, I believe they're right. And I'm going to talk about what he did, why he took that 5-yard penalty with 12 men on the field with 10 seconds to go, and why it was a brilliant move, and they need to change college football rules because of it. But I'll get to that. It's time to react to Matt Rhule's weekly press conference. All right, Tristan Alvano is day-to-day. Kicked yesterday. All right, Rhule expects Tommy Hill to play this week. Was supposed to play last game, but got hurt again running onto the field. Man, I always got to be careful running on the field, but I want to see Tommy back on the field. Him and Marquise Buford and Zaire Wright. That's pretty good. I can't even frickin' talk. That's 3 good corners. I was going to try to be fancy, and I screwed it all up, but that's okay. All right, looking at our opponent. Matt Rhule believes that Indiana, all right, the Hoosier Daddies, probably a top 10 team that we're facing. That's a direct quote, by the way, from Coach Rhule. But they're not getting the credit in the rankings because they started unranked. I think that's part of it. They also haven't played anybody. All right, Nebraska's had the 108th ranked strength of schedule in the country. Indiana's 109. And at least I feel like Colorado was a little bit of a test. Illinois was a little bit of a test. Obviously, we didn't pass that test, but I don't have any idea who Indiana's been tested by, and I've looked at their schedule. There's no real reason. I mean, UCLA, no. I mean, a lot of these teams, it's like Indiana's a good team, but they're going to learn a lot this weekend about themselves, and so are we going against each other. All right, everyone has to forget the logos and the names because it's 2 pretty good teams on the field. The question is, how consistent can our offense be? Because Indiana has shown consistency this year. All right. Matt Rhule, when talking about building a program, said, I don't believe in running kids off in response to building more traditionally instead of a wholesale through the portal. I mean, you can ask teams like Florida State. How's that portal thing going for you? They built their team through the portal. It didn't work too bad a year ago. I 100% believe had they gotten in the college football playoff, they would have been absolutely destroyed. I mean, they lost in the bowl game 62-3 to Georgia, but they had so many players opt out. Georgia had a bunch of players opt out. It wasn't even the same 2 teams. Still lost 63-3. Like, good Lord. All right. Matt Rhule likes to do it the more traditional way. He wants to recruit high school kids. He wants to develop high school kids, starting with Nebraska boys, I might add. And then you plug holes that you might have, whether it be wide receivers this year coming into the season, whether it be, and I know Mizuka's not starting, but the idea was that he would come in and start at guard throughout the season. The same thing on defense, and plug holes. If you got a hole, plug the hole. That's his philosophy. And that's what makes sense to me, if I'm being honest with you. All right. Matt Rhule said his goal for the season was to be relevant, and this is a relevant game. I've heard him use the R word multiple times. Relevant. I got to be honest, not a bad goal. Not a bad way of putting it either. He has a way with words. Like he's good at public speaking. He has a really good way of coming across to people, a really good way of expressing himself. Every once in a while, I'll point out, hey, he's really good at deflecting from something, but also it's kind of part of a coach's job. He's supposed to be up there to answer your questions and be available to answer your questions. Outside of Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I won't get fined. He's not actually obligated to answer every single question. So he does a really good job sometimes of deflecting every once in a while. All right. I have no problem because, hey, I see a little bit of deflection, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All right. Said they learned a lot of valuable lessons out of the Illinois game and applied those to Purdue and Rutgers. Didn't really specify what they were. I wish we'd learn to play 4 full quarters. That's what I'd love to see going forward. All right, Rhule loves being the underdog. The Huskers are not favored for the first time this whole season. By the way, they're going to be underdogs in at least 4 of their last 6 games. All right, how do we react? What happens when you're facing someone with equal to and or greater talent than you? USC is going to be that way. Ohio State's going to be that way. I don't know that Indiana has greater talent. I don't even know that they're equal to. If you factor in the size and recruiting rankings of the trenches, we haven't lived up to that potential on the O-line just yet. Doesn't mean we can't get there. As experienced and tenured as we are, that's why I use the word expectations for the O-line before the season, as opposed to potential. Potential means you haven't done anything yet. You got the ability to, but you ain't done it yet. Expectations means I expect you to do good things. But that doesn't mean we can't get there after this bye week. You look at Oregon's O-line, they struggled mightily the first couple of games of the year. They were supposed to be a strength of that team. They were a weakness the first 2 games, especially Boise State. Then they go out and they play Ohio State, which has 4 of the best defensive linemen in the country, probably the 2 best defensive tackles. And they gave up 0 sacks. 0 sacks to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Oregon's offensive line has improved drastically. You can make in-season improvements. I'm just going to look at Donovan Rhule. Hey, my man, I want to see those in-season improvements. I'm rooting for it. All right, Indiana is a great one for Javin Wright because of how athletic he is. All right, Javin Wright has done great since getting back. He's an athletic, fast kid. His dad played here at the University of Nebraska. I'm excited to see him back. Hopefully he's been able to kind of get his game legs underneath him a little bit, get those live reps, so to speak, and be uber fresh coming off this bye week now. And hopefully he can help be an impact player for us in the black shirts. All right. Faced some good teams over the first half of the season. I'm just going to call that what it is. That's coach speak with all due respect. I don't know what else you expect him to say. He's not going to be like, hey, we played 2 decent teams and everyone else was not phenomenal. All right. That is exactly what he should say. I'm not the head coach in Nebraska, so I'm going to say our better opponents are still ahead of us. All right. Good time for the guys to get away, even if it means all they did was sit down in their dorm rooms and watch anime or whatever. That was a quote from Matt Rhule talking about the bye week and taking a break. They had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off for practices. All right. Matt Rhule did talk about a lot of guys in college football, and VJack mentioned this. Being a team versus a group of individuals who just happen to have pads on and the same colored jersey on at the same time together. There's a difference between being individuals with the same colored jersey and pads on at the same time versus being a team. He said a lot of guys in college football are playing for their personal brand. I don't know what you expected with NIL and the transfer portal. It's exactly what you're creating. That's the culture that's being set. So it's not shocking. But here's what Rhule said. He said, and I quote, "I'm all for a little trash talk, but there's a way to do it that doesn't show up the opponent." All right, wants to respect the game, and Indiana is a good opponent to make plays and respect. All right, some of the rushing numbers are hurt by sacks and helped by speed sweeps. Hey, Jake, where have you heard that before? Jake, are you awake?
Yeah.
You're not awake. All right.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Jake takes his daily nap from 12 to 1 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. So, since he didn't respond, it's all right. I have talked numerous times that the rushing numbers are hurt by Dylan Rhule being sacked. Okay, he's averaging negative 4.1 yards per carry because of the sack numbers, but Ja'Cory Barney is averaging 14.9 yards per rush on his right wide receiver sweep. So I think it balances out, relatively speaking, between the two. But 3.9 yards per carry through the first 6 games for Nebraska is not good enough. All right, haven't had enough explosive plays and big runs. Didn't he just say a couple of weeks ago he was surprised that they were as explosive as they were? Am I remembering that wrong? I'm pretty sure there was a press, because I remember commenting on that. I could be wrong. I'll have to go back and fact check that later. All right, we might not ever be top 10 in passing, but we'll run power and ISO and increase the physicality of the team. I like that. I like that a lot. I want to be more physical. All right, are you giving me the break signal?
No.
Oh, okay. Is that just you trying to stay awake?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Sorry, I'm not processing things at my normal rate. But
so in defense of Jake, he's producing an entire show over there. He's doing a lot more stuff than I am. I'm flapping my gums. He's doing everything behind the scenes that I frankly don't want to do and don't know how to do. So thank you, Jake. All right. Study every decision for clock management every week. Like Ryan Day. One of the things I'm going to address in the last segment is how Ohio State fans, not a lot of them, or not all of them, but quite a few of them are like, he should be fired. I don't know that they're completely wrong. You got to see how the season plays out. What if he goes and wins a national title? Remember a couple of years ago When they lost to Michigan again, got boat raced in the fourth quarter at home on their home field the last 7 minutes, again to Michigan. Didn't get to the Big Ten championship game. And then, they were one field goal away from beating Georgia. And had they beaten them, they would have boat raced TCU for the national championship. Let's see how the season unfolds. But I think Ohio State fans' frustrations is Ryan Day took over the program on third base from Urban Meyer. He didn't take it over on second or first or at home. He didn't have to hit a triple. He took it over on third base. Okay. In defense of Ryan Day, outside of Michigan, his regular season record against everybody else is 25 wins and now 2 losses. Those 2 losses are to Oregon, by the way. All right, the last time they played Oregon in Columbus 3 or 4 years ago, and then going obviously to Oregon on Saturday and not being able to get the victory. But they've had a whole lot of success outside of Michigan and even against Oregon previously. But again, when you spend $20+ million on your roster and then you lose, your first loss comes in October, not November, December, etc. There's high expectations. Like, it's all or nothing. If Ohio State doesn't at least make the national championship game this year, he's going to catch a lot of things coming his way, and maybe justifiably so. Got off track from Matt Rhule's press conference reaction. We'll get back to it. I do like that he's talking about being more physical, running the ball more. It's got to be a priority. Because personally, I think we have an identity crisis on offense right now. I think Matt Rhule wants to run the ball. I think Marcus Satterfield wants to throw the ball. I think we have the capability of throwing the ball much more than we had last year. That doesn't take an expert opinion to take someone with 2 eyes and a voice that works to say and see that. But I think what's happened is we don't even have an identity on our run game itself. The beginning of the year, remember back to UTEP? First few plays were ISO and power. Then all of a sudden we started going to zone. Now it's a lot of jet sweeps. Like, we don't even have an identity within our run game. I think we have an offensive coordinator who wants to throw the ball. He wants to throw the ball. We have a head coach who wants to run the ball. And I think there's a little bit of an identity crisis there. I didn't use the word conflict. I said identity crisis, so to speak. And then within our run game, are we a power run team? Are we a zone run team? Are we an outside running team? It's good to have variations within the mix. But if you're trying to do everything, do you ever get really good at anything? Is my question. We got to figure out who we are within the run game. And then we got to figure out, are we a run first team, pass first team? Are we completely balanced? I'm not sure at this point. All right, let's see what else we got left. Dylan Rhule has improved the team with leadership, confidence, and belief. Tries to find 3 things every week to improve upon. All right, I like that. That's a good one to end on. I can't get the vision out of my mind of Dylan Rhule running gassers with the defense when he didn't have to in fall camp. That just sticks out to me. This is a guy who could have come in here 5 stars, all the accolades in the world. Dad is here. Uncle's coaching here. He could have came in with a big head, lazy attitude. I've seen it a million times before, from the NFL to college. It's not the case. The guy works his butt off. The guy studies. The guy works hard. That's my favorite thing about him. Not his potential, not even how good he's played so far this year, although it's a very, very close second. Because all of that stems off his mental approach. And I love his mental approach. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Tottenham plays West Ham at 6:30 a.m., and then Newcastle plays Brighton at 9 a.m. To cap off the Saturday action, Arsenal plays Bournemouth at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Man City takes on Wolves, while Liverpool plays Chelsea to try to stay atop the EPL standings. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at A&B.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of health care, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th, paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Tailored Life is your headquarters for all things fall in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, mums, and more. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hey, Nebraska football fans, it's defensive lineman Ty Robinson, and I've got a winning play for you with Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. Team up with Action and install a new Bradford white water heater in your home. And if we win the conference championship this season, you'll get a full refund. Don't fumble this opportunity. Sack your old water heater this season and score big with Action. Visit actionlincoln.com/Huskers to learn more.
Promotion valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
The electrical workers of local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. All right. Went a little bit long on that first segment, so we got to go quick. A couple of quick thoughts. Actually, heads up about tomorrow. Tuesday's show, Mo Berry, former Blackshirt team captain, one of my favorite Huskers has played in the past 10 to 15 years, going to join me at 12:25 tomorrow. And the last segment of the day, we're going to be releasing the first ever, much anticipated, highly talked and debated about AC poll. Not the AP poll, the thing that nobody really, even if you don't have the AC poll, nobody pays attention to the AP poll anymore. The AC poll, Adam Carriker's top 25 teams in America. All right, let's react to some of the college football's premier games this past weekend. Got to go quick. All right, we're going to start with an upset. Arizona State over Utah, and I'm going to bring this up for a couple of reasons. I'm going to give a shout-out to Jake on some of these points. He gave me permission to use them and go quickly. Jeff Sims got in. All right, 1-2 passing, had a rushing touchdown. Arizona State over Utah. Utah, Cam Rising's actually been granted an 8th year of eligibility. I mean, I feel like he's hurt Utah because every year they count on him. He can't play, and they ended up playing with a true freshman like this year. And even when he did play, he hasn't played well. With all due respect, Cam, if you want to come back and play, that's awesome. Why don't try it another place? Let Utah develop somebody else at quarterback instead of keeping them in limbo the whole time. All right, let's move on. Penn State, USC. USC outrushed Penn State. USC had the home field advantage. USC won the turnover battle by two turnovers and still lost the game. Had a 14-point halftime lead and still lost the game. Those are all a bunch of stats that if I'd have told you them before the game, you would have said USC was going to win. USC and Penn State, great uniform game, great game, phenomenal game to watch. Goes into overtime. USC misses a field goal. Penn State does not, and they win 33-30. All right, quickly, Tennessee and Florida. I thought Tennessee was just going to wipe the mat with Florida. Tennessee's got a lot of things going on. A phenomenal front seven, a deep front four, an explosive offense, although it didn't look like it Saturday versus Florida. Florida's not as bad as people think. They're also not as good as they'd like to be. This game goes into overtime. Florida's starting quarterback gets knocked out. The backup comes in, does tie the game to send it into overtime, but struggled other than that. Tennessee, number 8 team in the country, gets the win. All right, Ole Miss, LSU. These are the two games, Ole Miss, LSU, Ohio State, Oregon, where I said Ohio State's better than Oregon, but Oregon's going to win. I said Ole Miss is better than LSU, but LSU is going to win. And I detailed all those reasons on Friday's show. Go back and check it out if you're interested. LSU beats, number 13 LSU beats number 9 Ole Miss, 29-26, another overtime game. This was a game in which, do you know how many times, Jake, are you with me?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go how long? How long did LSU have the lead in this game?
I saw that. Not 1 second.
Technically 0 seconds.
Yeah.
Because by the time they took the lead, the game was over. Clock was done. LSU led for 0 seconds and still won the ball game. Their quarterback struggled, and their offensive line actually played pretty good. Ole Miss was number 1 in the country in sacks. Amount of sacks so far this year. Number 1 team in the country got 0 on Saturday versus LSU's offensive line. Garrett Nussmeier, the LSU quarterback, struggled until he needed to make plays, and then he made big-time throws at the right times. And that's why LSU got the win. All right, Ohio State, Oregon, the game of the day, the game that most people have been looking to since last summer, including myself. The Ducks win 3-2. They're the only team, and they've done it twice now, not named Michigan, to beat Ryan Day and Ohio State since Ryan Day became the head coach. And here's what happened at the end of the game. I alluded to it earlier. 10 seconds on the clock. Oregon calls timeout. They're on defense. Ohio State's are roughly the midfield. Right before the ball snapped, you see an Oregon defender sneak on the field. Now, why would they do this? Why would they do this? It seems intentional. They did it to prevent a big play. They also were okay with taking the 5-yard penalty. Ohio State moves 5 yards closer. They really needed 20 yards to get in field goal range. I think it was 25 yards to get in field goal range. They moved 5 yards closer. 4 seconds ran off the clock. That time does not go back on the clock. Oregon knocks down the pass, but what they wanted to do was prevent the big play. They were okay with the 5-yard penalty because 40% of the time that remained in the game was now gone. They went from 10 seconds to 6 seconds, and then Will Howard does a not-so-intelligent thing and literally ran the clock out. But Oregon has exposed something in the college football rule book that needs to be changed. It ain't their fault. It ain't their problem. I'll actually give kudos to Dan Lanning, Oregon's head coach, on knowing the rules that well and being able to think of it in a high-pressure moment and situation. Oregon beats Ohio State 32-31, and I'm going to give you a preview of tomorrow's AC poll. Everywhere I look, Oregon's the number 1 team in the country. They are not my number 1 team in the country, and I'll reveal that tomorrow in the inaugural, first ever, highly talked about, highly debated, highly anticipated, until about 10 minutes ago, none of you knew it was going to happen, AC poll. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Adam Carriker Show. Shout out to Jake, shout out to Vershawn, and I hope you all have a glorious Monday. Until next time, go Big Red Nose. Remember, to throw the ball.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the